sure that volume's up. Okay, hold on. I need to get a drink. I'm sorry. Hi everybody. I am Lady Stars and Fire. This is the weekly healing messages for November 20th through the 30th. Now, again, I didn't wait for anybody to come online or put anybody in a chat room for any of this. I'm just making the video and putting it out there, and then I'll go back and put it on YouTube. Now, this isn't just like a flippin' powerful time. I mean, it's powerful, but I mean, like, this is life-changing moments. Even though you may not necessarily notice it or see it right now, these are the moments that are changing that life-changing situation for you. And this is the eclipses that are doing it. But we have so much going on. I'm not going to get deep into the astrology because I'm going to get deep into everything that Spirit is giving me. And then apply the astrology where more or less I'm being told to apply it. Because this is life-changing moments. This is take the bull by the horns moments. This is breaking patterns moments. But we are in a shadow of the eclipses. Not to mention, it's a lunar eclipse that's coming in on November 30th with the full moon in Gemini. Now, there's major key energy there because it's going to be crossing over that north node and be in exact opposition also with the south node. So that's major lessons as well. It's more or less a north node, eclipse, and full moon. But before I get into that, I have been checking the Space Weather Center, the National Space and Weather Center, because we've been having geomagnetic storms, which affects us. And like I said, this is also shadow energy coming to full circle. And I want to make sure that I'm throwing that out there because I tend to say when we have geomagnetic storms that whenever it's a G2, people tend to start to feel the energy. But on the 21st, it's going to turn into a G3. Now, they only show you 3 days out, but I'm sure that's going to still continue at least back to a G2 for a few days, or it's going to move up to a G3. So that's adding extra energy, extra sensitivity to the week on top of the regular energy from the astrology. And I'm going to throw some of the symptoms at you for a geomagnetic storm. You may feel pressure headaches. You may be dealing with a strange or odd, unusual, just aches and pains. You may be feeling flushed, dizzy, spaced out, nauseous, have difficulty focusing. You may even find yourself having difficulty breathing on some levels too, as well as being dehydrated. I'm drinking Pedialyte. I've been drinking it for a few days on and off with Gatorade. Because water wasn't giving me enough. You may be feeling confusion, forgetful, extremely fatigued, exhaustion, insomnia, intense realistic dreams or nightmares, irritability, panic, anxiety attacks, nervousness, heightened awareness, intuition, as well as premonitions, hot flashes, flu-like syndromes, sore throat, ears, highly sensitive to negativity and completely intolerant to drama. Pay attention to synchronicities and number patterns when they come up, because if you are aware, there's a reason why those number patterns are being given to you. This energy, I'm telling you it this way because I want you to know where some of those negatives will fall. Meaning, all of those symptoms may cause you to be a little bit more negative than maybe you normally would be. A little bit more frustrated or more irritable. And it's important for you to realize that, because this energy is incredibly full of abundance and manifestation. I mean, like, like blink your eyes and we're catching the manifestation that quick. So you need to pay attention to what you're focusing on and not get caught up in any of that negative lower vibration, because those geomagnetic storms are flushing that shit out of you and flushing that shit out of your system and out of your life. But if you stay focused on it, then you're going to manifest it right back to you. And you need to be aware so that you're able to get rid of that. Now, last week I was saying, Spirit was telling me that we were being given for the rest of the month, and as we approached this eclipse season, that we were being given, pay very close attention to if you are, what energy you are in, and what energy you are allowing yourself to be part of and consumed with. And Spirit gave me Anubis in Egyptian mythology and Set. And the reason why is because they look very similar. I mean, Egyptian mythology has a lot of really weird things, and then they take on each other's personas and stuff, and this is exactly why Spirit was giving it to me that way, because sometimes it's very easy to get confused to what is dark and what is light, what is right and what is wrong. And this is why they gave me Anubis and Set. And make sure that you are comprehending that you should be in the Anubis energy. Anubis is death for rebirth. It is the guardian of the dead, helping the dead to cross. It is also speaking about the magical secrets. But Seth was the god of chaos, the god of confusion, the god of bad weather, evil, wrongdoing. Your inner darkness may have some confusion, may have some chaos, and you have to work through that. However, it's all about letting go of old patterns, letting go of old idealisms. So we're letting the dead to the dead. We're learning how to grow. But we don't want to get consumed in that Seth idea when they can look so similar. Okay, so it's making sure that you're aware when you're shifting in and out of this energy, because you want to be in that Anubis energy, not the Seth energy. You don't want to be creating more chaos, more bad, more evil and wrongdoing and vindictiveness, pointing fingers this week, when it's about rising. But there are keys to rising. Spirit gives me runes. I don't really throw runes anymore. And I don't pull them as often, because when Spirit talks to me, they just put them in my eyes now. And the rune looks kind of like an R, in case you don't follow the runes. It's Reho, Rado, Rad. Some will say it, some will call it radio. It's just depending on how you are pronouncing it, whether you have any form of the correct pronunciation or not. But the rune speaks to you of the ride. It is the riding. It is Thor's chariot. It is the world of rhythm, rhyme, and the dance of life itself. Right there's part of your key. What you're getting right now is the dance of life, and what part of the manifestation are you dancing to? It focuses on the matters of life, the matters of order, justice, and the change through the preparation. Everything must be given its proper accordance, its proper preparation. You may want, I mean, in order to finish the goal, you have to prepare yourself properly. It speaks to us of structure and outward control within or within of its issues. It indicates the journey overland or in a vehicle. So you may also be traveling. We are coming into Thanksgiving. But it points to the presence of people involved with practices of law or skilled ritual art, work, rules and ceremonies, or magical rites. It speaks to us of the evolution and the change of place of our settings. What I'm trying to get at is, again, we're breaking those old patterns. We're looking for a higher quality of life. You have to take the proper preparations to create that higher quality of life. And if you're getting caught in that Seth, Egyptian god of chaos, and let me turn it back, of chaos and war and evil and wrongdoing and violence and all of that, then you're not getting into, the transformation of the birth, death, and rebirth. Okay? So this is why Spirit is giving it to me in that way. Make sure that you're not getting confused. Make sure that you're staying in the right way. Braille is also, let me find where I was. It's also speaking to you of channeling the energy according to the natural flow and the natural law. Remember, this is a 4-year attached to a 5-year. The universe is going to have its way. So the best thing you can do is get on board with the way the universal energy is going, because it has a higher understanding of what it's doing than you do. And a 5-year is saying, be ready to adapt and change, but stay loyal to what's important to you. Let me put it this way. I don't know how many times I've had to say this in the last week. It is completely impossible for you to want to change into a higher vibrational frequency, a higher vibrational life, a higher vibrational way of life, if you are still doing things from a lower vibrational standpoint. Another way of putting this is, you cannot apply old school rules and old school actions. Hi. Old school rules, old school actions from that lower vibrational person that you may have been in the past. And you can't apply that same way of thinking, that same way of acting into your new now. You can't take old school rules to a new school learning. You will not get that higher vibrational frequency if you are still acting from a lower vibrational frequency. This is about breaking those patterns, breaking the idealism, and realizing we have to make these changes. Again, this speaks to us. I was saying some people call it radio, Rehu, Retho, Rad, depending on how it is that you call it from the runes. It is channeling of energy according to the natural law. It is the ritual of magic and the rhythm and rhyme of the dance of life. So what are you dancing to? That lower vibration? Or are you dancing to that higher vibration? It speaks to us again of the principle of outward order and justice and change. Evolution through the change and setting the proper procedure in order to do so, controlling that movement of that dance of life. It is the primal order expressed in the ethical relationship of the environment. It is the runecraft of inner self, or runecraft of outer self order. Outer self order. This is about how you react. I'm sorry, you're going to start seeing this week, especially with the geomagnetic storms and all the other energy that's building. I'm sorry, some people who have not been working on themselves, you're going to see them have their asses handed to them. That's their problem. This is about making sure that you are doing you so that you can break the patterns and you can set that higher quality of life that you desire by not going back to old school patterns. Again, this is all about, that rune is all about growth through planning of that preparation. It is experiencing of the outer world through honest logic and ethics. Understanding that they apply wise counsel, justice, and just rewards. legal matters. All of this can be brought into that manifestation, but it all depends on what dance of life you are dancing, from a higher vibration or a lower vibration. Because if you are, the whole thing is you've been given the proper amount of time to put your affairs in order, to start getting the direction that you want. And if you are not stepping up to the plate and taking the bull by the horn and starting to make those affairs come into order by taking that action, setting that preparation, then, because you don't know what to do, because you're not sure, the point is by doing nothing, that is a decision you made. This is part of what I've been trying to say. Remember, Mars is direct now. It's not in retrograde anymore. This is now at the time of going, you've had enough time to decide to set things in the proper direction. And if they're not being set in the proper direction, and you couldn't make a decision and you didn't make a move, well, then the universe will push the move on you. And because you didn't come through and do it in that higher preference, that move will probably be pushed on you in a way that is not comfortable. However, if you've been working on yourself and you've been following all of these preparations, you're probably getting catapulted into where you want to go. You may not notice it right now, but you're being put in that direction to catapult you that way. And you don't have to do all that. It's like they say, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. I've been saying you want to stay ahead of all of this energy. We are trying to break the patterns. This is a lunar eclipse taking place in Gemini as it crosses that north node, which is going to be also in Gemini. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Communication. First, communication is to yourself. Gemini is also about everything that is up close and personal to you. This is about what you want in life. And are you actually taking the bull by the horn? Do you have the courage to get what you want, to speak what you want, to desire it, to be able to bring it into fruition? Because that south node in Sagittarius is saying, you still think that things have to be done this way or they have to be done that way. This is what I'm saying. You cannot take old school, lower vibrational frequencies into a brand new school and expect to get high vibrations. Low vibrations equals low vibrations, and you can't pull it any other direction. That south node in Sagittarius is saying everything about, not everything, but there are pieces about each and every one of us on a spiritual level, on a soulful level, on an honest level about ourselves, who don't think that we are as big as we are, who think that it only has to be this way. We were taught that it's this. So our idealisms are only set in these nice little boxes. Throw the fucking box out. It's time to think from a higher standpoint. Get out of the box. Try to be more open-minded to making these changes. Because it's saying by doing things the old way, you will never move forward. It's time to be more up close and personal within your communication and your everyday life, which is your neighbors and everything that's up close and personal to you, and take those chances. This North Node in Gemini, again, the North Node, no matter where it is telling you, you have to learn this in order to move forward, or you don't move forward. It's on an eclipse, and it's ruled by Mercury. You just had a new moon. Hold on. A new moon that took place in Scorpio. Mercury, honey, Mercury's hanging out in Scorpio right now. And Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and Mars. Mars just went direct. Communication is word vomit. I'm going to tell you exactly what's up. And if somebody else doesn't have the balls to do it for you, well, somebody else will. This is what I'm trying to say. Scorpio energy, Mercury, ruling that energy going on with that eclipse in Gemini, the North Node, about the communication and what it is you're trying to create up close and personal, versus changing shallow idealism. This is all about setting patterns for the higher quality of life, Don't go back to old school patterns. Don't do it. It's really that simple. You have Mercury all week that is also going to be in opposition of Lilith and Uranus in Taurus, going, do you have the balls to be that independent person? That individual? That unique person who really is inside of you? Do you have the balls to find the fire and the courage and the soul being of who you are to step into that authentic energy? Or are you going to feel that you have to push people around because you're afraid that it's being taken from you? Chiron in Aries is also trining the sun, which is saying that the sun is in Sagittarius now. It is not near the south node, but it's illuminating those poor, shallow patterns of idealism of what we need to break. It's highlighting that. It's illuminating it. The sun is shining it on you so that you can find that true authenticity. You can find that true soul. You can find the courage to go into it. And Chiron's the wounded healer. It's about breaking the patterns. Take the bull by the horn. Have the courage. Because I swear to you, loves, if you don't, the universe will find a way to do what it's divinely instructed, desiring to do. The four is always saying, you better get on board with the universal energy, because the universal energy is something you cannot change. It's something you have to work with. And if you're not getting on board with it, it's going to punch you in the gut, because it's going to put you where it needs to, or at least in the direction it has to start getting you where you need to go. It's all about breaking the patterns. Now, also, for some reason, Spirit had me stop because I'm supposed to give out some crystals. I don't know why. I don't think they all go together. I'm just giving you crystals that Spirit is giving me because some of you, I guess, need to have them this week. Green Adventurin, Kayanite, Citron, Amethyst, Aquamarine, Rhodonite. Is that it? Going once, Spirit. And Goldstone, and then somebody really needs the Green Adventurin. I love you guys. Bye.